Hey everyone, thanks for clicking. This is Rocky and I hope all is going well. In this video I want to talk about and discuss the upcoming new characters for Season 2 of The Flash. First off, we have Wally West. Alright, so Wally West is going to be a hard one to figure out for this show. The reason being is they actually adapted quite a bit from his character and implemented it with the Barry Allen character on the current show. This also included bringing in Linda Park, who is actually the love interest of Wally West in the comics. The original Wally received his powers by copying the events that gave Barry his powers, which on the show would be another particle accelerator explosion, which I doubt will happen. He took up the role of Barry's sidekick before eventually taking over the costume and the name Flash. It seems like they're probably going to be adapting more of the New 52 Wally West, who happened to get his powers as a result of a battle between a future and past Flash. Yes, time is going to get very confusing on the Flash this season, I think. It seems like the plan for Wally is that he's going to be a cousin of Iris, and apparently has some sort of issues with authority. I don't imagine he'll actually acquire powers until late into Season 2, if not Season 3. Wally is listed as a main character, which means we're going to be seeing him in nearly every episode of Season 2. I am really looking forward to seeing the character presented on the show, but like I said, they're going to have their work cut out for them with meshing him into the current show dynamic. Next up we have Garrick. In the comics, Garrick was actually the original Flash and received his powers via a chemical explosion in a college lab, though later they decided the accident actually activated a metagene that gave Garrick superhuman speed and reflexes. Later on, he was actually able to access the Speed Force, which greatly enhanced his abilities as well as gave him a few new ones. He was a founding member of the Justice Society of America, and for the most part was involved in some pretty campy stories in or around Keystone City. He eventually met Barry Allen during the discovery of the multiverse within the DC universe, and Garrick's Earth was basically deemed Earth 2. This seems to be the direction they're going with Garrick on the show, as in the trailer we see him warn the Star Labs crew of bad things coming to their world. It appears they are going for a younger looking Garrick, which is fine, as at one point in the comics he was actually imbued with slow aging, so he might not actually be as young as he appears on screen. I'm hoping he's going to be used as a big brother or mentor figure for Barry, but not the same way as his three fathers from Season 1. He seems to be listed as a recurring character, which means he'll probably only be in a handful of episodes, maybe half the season or so. So I expect those episodes he's going to be in are actually going to be pretty key to the overall arc of the season. Also, I am hoping that through Garrick we're going to actually learn more about the Speed Force and its relation with other speedsters. They definitely modernized his look a bit, which is fine, as it actually looks really good and kind of meshes with the current look of the Flash show. They did pay respect and kept the helmet pretty much exactly how it looked in the comic, so definitely got to give them credit for that. Okay, so we're going to get a new female detective introduced on the show in the form of Patty Spivot. So in the comics, Patty pretty much revolved around Barry and the crime lab. She worked closely with Barry and naturally developed romantic feelings for him, but she never quite acted on them. She was nearly as smart as Barry, which was quite entertaining. In an alternate timeline, she actually developed Speed Force powers and took on the name Miss Flash, though sadly her powers ended up destroying Central City. Yay! On the show, she will be Joe's new partner and seems to have some obsession with metahumans, and there is supposed to be a large part of her backstory that has to do with that. She will be part of the Metahuman Task Force, which will allow her to work closely with Barry and the Flash. There is talk that she will be the new love interest for Barry. Yes, I can hear your groans, but again, this is the CW, so what are we going to do, right? I'm honestly okay with it, as long as they don't get too heavy-handed with it, and allow it to be written slowly and naturally, and like in the comics, maybe nothing will actually come of it. What I would really love is to see Patty developed into a version of the Hot Pursuit character. Hot Pursuit was a persona of one of the alternate Barry Allens around the time of Flashpoint. He lost connection to the Speed Force, so he ended up creating a cosmic motorcycle that allowed for time travel, much like the cosmic treadmill does. Though it does need a massive amount of electricity to power it. I can totally picture Cisco developing a motorcycle capable of super speed. Maybe? Possibly? Just me? Next we have Henry Hewitt, also known as Tokamak. So Tokamak was a villain closely associated with Firestorm, as his powers were derived from almost the same source. He ended up merging with a clone and taking on the first name Victor. Now it seems in the show he's going to end up working with Star Labs based on an invite from Caitlin, possibly to help out with a problem with the Firestorm Matrix. Not sure at this point though if they still use him as a villain. He could end up betraying Star Labs in a big way that could actually affect Ronnie. So Jessie Quick, in the comics, Jessie was the daughter of Johnny Quick and Liberty Bell. She was able to access super speed by way of her father's mathematical formula, which essentially accessed the Speed Force. She also inherited her mother's super strength, which made her a very formidable hero. She was tied in with both Barry and Wally in the comics, so they have some great material to draw from for her. Based on what I've read so far in the show, Jessie will be a college student that somehow gets caught up in a fight between the Flash and Zoom. Makes me wonder if they might use this as a trigger for her powers, similar to Wally West in the comics. Alright, next on the list is Albert Rothstein, aka Atom Smasher. So Atom Smasher is being set up to be a villain, at least based on the trailers we have seen, which there was a time he was considered a villain in the comics, kind of when he grew into an association with Black Adam, but at his heart he was always a hero. He is a metahuman with super strength and durability. He is able to enhance these powers by increasing his height and weight, and it seems they're going to be using some aspect of this, though I doubt we're going to be seeing something as extreme as him growing 60 feet tall. The fact that he will be growing at all is surprising, as I thought they would just have him increase density and strength, but without actually altering his size. Based on potential effects costs, I'm guessing we will only see him in maybe 2 episodes, though I do hope he ends up joining Team Flash by the end of the season. One of the new villains that's going to be introduced is Vandal Savage. I went into a lot of detail on Vandal Savage in my Legends of Tomorrow character breakdown, so I will put a link for you all to check that out. We have not learned much more about the role of the series, though we do have a face to go with the character now, as Casper Crump will take on the role. I honestly have not seen any of his performances, so I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to pull off the role, but he definitely looks like Vandal Savage. It seems they may shorten his lifespan, as in some reports it looks like they're only going to have him listed as around 6,000 to 7,000 years old, as opposed to the nearly 50,000 years old in the comics. His introduction will probably end up being a big crossover between The Flash and Arrow, leading up to their mid-season breaks, as well as the premiere of Legends of Tomorrow. I get the feeling he might just end up being behind the big bads of both shows, but who knows. Next we have Carter Hall, aka Hawkman. So previously Hawkgirl was announced for Legends of Tomorrow, and finally we're going to get Hawkman as well. This will be Carter Hall, and they are definitely doing some form of the reincarnation angle, but not sure if they're going to go the full Egyptian route or something else. It seems that Carter will know about this, as well as his relationship with Hawkgirl, but for some reason she does not remember. We did get an image of both in costume, and on one hand they did a good job of matching the look and feel of the current Arrow and Flash designs, but on the other I would have preferred a more armored look to the characters. Also, his mace looks a bit small. We still haven't seen a clear look at the wings yet either, so I'm okay with the overall appearance at this point. I'm just hoping for some enhancements later on. Carter will probably be a key source of information about Vandal Savage, so I'm thinking he will be introduced around the same time as Savage. From my memory, we've only had one other live-action Hawkman, and that was on Smallville. They did a great job on the character, though the outfit was a bit campy on that show. So hopefully we'll see a solid character and a believable look for this Hawkman. So in Season 2 of The Flash, we're actually going to be meeting Louis Snart. I'm actually really excited to see Michael Ironside on The Flash. No matter if it's a villain or a hero, he usually just kills it on screen. Plus, I really want to see a scene with him and General Eiling together. I mean, come on. Kurgan and General Katana on screen? Wow. Though sadly this probably won't happen, but there's a good chance we might see him tear into his wayward children, Captain Cold and Golden Glider. Then again, maybe he comes back on the scene with a job for his kids and Heatwave. So one of the more recently announced characters is going to be Kimiyo Hoshi, aka Dr. Light. We've seen very little information about this character, but she is supposed to be in Season 2. though she may not actually have her Dr. Light powers. In the comics, Kimiyo had a very stern and abrasive personality, but she is incredibly brilliant. She was both an astronomer and medical doctor, so it is possible she might be someone from Caitlin's past. She received her powers by way of a blast from the star Vega, initiated by the Monitor, who was a very powerful cosmic entity. From the blast, she gained many abilities, all focused around light, including changing light into energy, and in one case basically absorbed the light of an entire sun. So we are looking at a power scale potentially greater than even Firestorm in the Arrowverse. Hopefully we will get some indication of whether she will have her powers or not before Season 2 starts. So another one of the big kind of character announcements for Season 2 of The Flash is we will be getting a new Reverse Flash in the form of Zoom. Now, while we are supposed to see Harrison Wells again, we are not sure about Eobard Thawne. Zoom's look is supposed to make heavy use of CG, and they are bringing in Tony Todd to be the voice of Zoom. Not going to lie, I totally have chills thinking about hearing Tony Todd as this iconic supervillain. Part of me hopes this Zoom will end up being a product of the negative Speed Force or some dark reflection of Barry. There's so many possibilities though. I mean, we could be looking at the Rival. We could be looking at Eddie Thawne. We could be looking at Eobard Thawne back. We could be looking at another Thawne clone. And there's so many things, but like I said, I would love for it to be a dark mirrored reflection of Barry as Zoom. Alright guys, so those are kind of the new characters that have been announced so far. We do know that Mirror Master is supposed to be on and a few other characters, but we haven't received many details about those yet. So like I said, just want to put this together, let you guys know a little bit of information about these characters. Go and put down in the comments below if you have any additional questions on the characters or The Flash Season 2, anything like that. Go and put those down there. Be happy to talk with you guys about that. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd ask you to go ahead and pound that like button, and I would love for you to come on board and subscribe to the channel. If you have subscribed already, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate you coming on board, and I so hope you've been enjoying the videos. Alright guys, all that being said, have a great rest of your day now, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.